If you'd like further information, you could click on the link and it would take you to the tutorial page. So this tutorial I've taken from WikiHow, and it will give you in more detail with pictures. That is something that I could add as a future enhancement into my project. The app, if you'd like if the user would like recycling information, they could go to the recycling page and they could get the categories of which bin it should go into. So for example, if the user would like to if the user has garden waste and they wonder which bin it should go to, they could come here and just see that it should go into the brown bin. They as well have DIY ideas where all the DIY ideas are. So instead they could as well just come here and look through the DIY ideas. On the phone as well, I'll just demo it. So this is how it looks on the phone, and the same thing, sorry. And having a plastic bottle here, I will, fingers crossed, it works. So I'll take a picture. I like that picture. I'm gonna do it okay and submit it. And there's a prediction that it is a plastic, confidence level of 0.91. I'm going to go back to the presentation slide. I have to scroll all the way down. So for the testing, I did post-training testing in Google Colab as well. So I split the images, 80% for the training, 10% for the validation, and 10% for testing. So that while I was training, after the training was completed, I could make sure that it's giving me the correct output. I calculated the mean average precision as well, using the COCO metric. And once I integrated into my Flask, I tested it again with the view for image handling, making sure that it's taking the correct picture and it's sending the image back to the server side. I verified the data retrieval. So in every stage, I kept constantly tested to make sure that it's all working. At the end, once it was all working, I did user testing as well and got lots of feedbacks as well. Realized places of improvements that I could do with the training data. So the initial testing revealed varied map scores, as you can see in the bottom, and it identified areas for improvement. During the integration testing, it ensured that there was proper image handling and data retrieval. During the user feedback that I got highlighted the issues with image angles, backgrounds, and it facilitated me to retrain the model further. The improvements that I had was iterative testing process led to enhancements of image detection and user experience. This is the future enhancements that I would like to add to my app. I'd like to expand the range of the detected objects. So to meet the broader range of recycling requirements and to use data from users' pictures to further train the model. Right now, it does not store any user data. Enhance the upcycling information as well. Improve the upcycling resources with step-by-step video tutorials, and encourage user-generated content as well, and encourage DIY enthusiasts to promote waste reduction. Improve the user interface as well, so add a search functionality or a calendar the day your bin will be picked up, and notifications as well. As well, integrate recycling station. So for like batteries, so that users can know where the batteries go. In conclusion, the Smart Recycling app project has been a transformative journey. It has offered me valuable lessons in project management, research, design, and development. In conclusion, the Smart Recycle app project has not only contributed to my academic development, but also underscored the important role of technology in addressing environmental challenges and promoting sustainability. Thank you for listening to me.
I forgot to mention at the start, we'll keep questions to the open discussion at the end. So keep them in mind, okay? Jot them down if you need to, okay? And then we'll pop them on the cards and we'll talk about them in the open discussion. Just take some pressure off the guys a little bit. Okay, you're up then. This is this fancy light bulb that's sat here, if you're wondering why there's a light bulb.
Just give me a moment.
Do you want to jump up here? You're right.
I don't know if I have video over USB-C, but we're about to find out. Maybe. Is
DJ Matt around.
Oh, okay.
Is it working?
I think so. So I.
Or DJ Matt distance.
Yeah. Can we get the lights out as well, please, if possible? Yeah. So I didn't have a particular structure in mind for this presentation. What I do have, though, is I have a really nice visualization that I can let run while I talk, and then we can sort of try and treat this a bit more like a freehand talk about the project itself. So I'll start by just running this, and then start to introduce my solution. So what I ended up making was effectively a proof of concept for reproducing a mood lighting effect on consumer smart bulbs. So if you have a look at products that exist on the IoT market and things like that, you can buy things like mood lighting kits where you either plug in the output of a display or point a camera at a display that you're capturing, and it will automatically pull a dominant color from that image and illuminate it in real time, and it gives you this nice little mood lighting effect. The problem that we saw through initial research into these products is effectively those same requirements. You know, you need extra hardware devices to run continuously, you're limited to one display. So I took this project as kind of an opportunity to eliminate those requirements and just try and understand how do you achieve such an effect. Like if you take an image or a frame from a video, how do you extract the dominant colors from it, and then how do we pick the best one to give to a smart light bulb? So to give some context to this visualization, in order to detect the color from an image that a user uploads, we use what's called the median cut algorithm. So going step by step through what this is doing, when a user uploads an image or they play back a video, we're scaling down that image down to a fixed size for pre-processing, and then through median cut, we're recursively sorting those colors in the image by what's called its largest channel. Is everyone familiar with what RGB is in terms of digital images? Is there anyone who doesn't know? Sweet. So again, recursively, we figure out what the largest channel is, we sort it by that, and then we split that sorted color set, and we sort it again by the largest channel, we identify which one it is, and we do it again and again and again. And we do this until we get however many splits equal to however many colors we want to produce. So in this particular case, I chose to have it produce 4 unique colors from the image. So once it's done that sort twice, we're left with 4 individual pieces, and we can merge those together to produce a final color. In order to send it to the light bulb, we then determine which color has the best mixture of saturation and value. We found through testing that using one or the other kind of led to less than ideal results. So sometimes on one image you might find that a color is brighter but it's more washed out, or yeah, I've lost my train of thought there. To communicate with the bulb, specifically the bulb that you see in front of me is a bulb manufactured by LIFX. We chose this bulb just because it had two different kinds of programmatic communication available to it. It has a HTTP API that we can just call using any language as long as you're able to send a request using it. And then it also had access to a well-documented local communication protocol that uses UDP over IP. Is everyone familiar with that? Sweet. In this particular instance, there wasn't enough time to get UDP working, and we did run into a few issues getting it to work with the web platform, which I can always come back to if anybody's interested. But on the whole, that is the heart of what makes the solution work, is the user will upload an image, we perform median cut on it, we select the color of those four generated that have the highest saturation and value, and then we send out to the light. Because we're using an external API that goes over the public internet, there are things we have to consider as well, such as rate limiting. So the solution I've developed obeys all of that, and yeah. And then in terms of how it was implemented, the solution itself is, I won't dwell on this too long because I'm sure everyone wants to see the pretty picture, but the solution itself is static, so once it's all loaded into the user's browser, it's all good to go. Because it's a proof of concept, we just used vanilla JavaScript, HTML, and CSS to style the front end, and then we made quite heavy use of web browser APIs that accidentally close it. Yes, I did. Let's run that again. Where was I? So yeah, we used a web API to try and achieve a large amount of solution functionality, so things like allowing users to upload local video files or local images, or to capture their screen, which is how we're doing this visualization right now. On the backside of it, the color detection logic is written in C++, and then we've compiled this to WebAssembly, which I think is a really nice piece of kit. Is everyone familiar with what WebAssembly is? Has anyone used it in their job, or does anybody want to hear more about it? So WebAssembly is, if you've ever worked with a compiled language like C++ or C, it's effectively a compilation target for compiled languages. So instead of, say, using something like G++ or GCC, you would use a toolchain for your particular language, and then that gets compiled into what's called a module. Because at the end of the day, WebAssembly is effectively a low-level instruction set. It's been baseline on every major browser for the last 5 or 6 years, I think. And once you have that module, you can load it in like any other static resource, and you have it interact with your JavaScript code. And anything that you write with WebAssembly runs at near native speed. So that came, really useful here, where we're taking an image. We have about 40,000 pixels that we need to go through several times for any given frame. And this was implemented using the C image library. That was just because we needed something a bit more lightweight that we could just drop in with the rest of our source code and then compile into one module that's then loaded by the browser. And that actually ended up being quite helpful. Again, I can go more into detail about this later on if anyone's wanting to listen. But I think that about does it. I'll let that run for a little bit. If anybody has anything they'd like to know more about the solution.
Has the light will stop?
Is it not? Oh, I didn't. I never told it to capture. Oh no. Just...
I've been waiting for it to change colour.
There we go. Oops. Let me just reset that. So yeah, any questions?
We'll leave questions till the end. That's the last.
Do you want me to leave this running, or should I just?
Yeah.
It's not too
Just keep it in the
distracting,
background. Okay. Either everyone will just watch that, or they'll listen to you.
Yeah, well, I suppose, that'll take them away from asking me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to pull up the
questions at the end. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
I know it kind of feels a bit weird, doesn't it? To do that, but yeah. Thanks.
I won't be that long, so no worries.
Take over.
So, I'll talk about Thomas's project as well, because Thomas wouldn't know anything in there. What I said I'd do is basically talk about the project process they've got, and also GradX, and how the whole thing works. The final year projects basically are done by, surprisingly enough, final year students, and when they go, it's really, it's about a quarter of their course in their final year is their final year project now. They have to come up with an idea. They have to then basically propose that idea across. They have a one-to-one with the supervisor, ideally every week, sometimes not, sometimes it'll happen more frequently. They will then follow that project through from its original inception through predominantly the first half of the project module will run from like September through till May. So basically the beginning of May, that is, so really the end of April kind of time within there. And the first half of it tends to be much more research and to be much more experimental and kind of getting an idea and making sure they've got the foundation to building something afterwards. Most of the software kind of software development, web development type projects tend to be quite build specific, so they will tend to have a lot of their research around not just the kind of secondary research kind of thing, but also technologies that will fit into it. So the tech stacks that Nor talked about and Ed talked about basically fit into that kind of idea of understanding which the best tech stack and why, and understanding those sorts of things. The ideas they come up with, sometimes they will have wonderful ideas themselves, sometimes they will come to me and go, what can I do? And quite often I'll have ideas, but basically I'm throwing it out kind of generally anyway to say if anybody has any wonderful ideas that are not mission critical ideas. So because the time frame has to work that way, it's not like just the build, but the build is the second half of what they've got. Something that they can research around, something that they can actually build a proof of concept prototype of. Sometimes can be more than the prototype. Both of those are quite nice working solutions. Sometimes you don't get that kind of sophistication. Not all the students are as good as these two. So generally, they don't know what they've got for their project, by the way. I do. They do. But it's pretty good. I'm live streamed, and I shouldn't have said that. I didn't say it. So generally, if anybody has any ideas, throw them at me, because we might have some. We've got some good students coming back in September. It'll start October-ish time and run through till May-ish time, and it's usually quite interesting to have something that's a bit more real or a bit more fun. So if it's a company project that's like, okay, we haven't got money to do it within the company, but you fancy throwing it out there to see something proof of concept wise, please do contact me, because quite often they come and go, I haven't got a clue what to do, and it's like, okay. And most of the ones that come to me tend to be software development, web development type projects that are in there. So that's that. The other thing that comes out of this wonderful FYP process is GradX, which is on the 4th of June. And is at Stoke, and please come along, because you can come and see some of the wonderful projects. And apparently there's about 40 students this year, which is like, wow. Compared to previous couple of years, it's been quite quiet. We have got quite a lot this year. And please do come along. If you look at staff, if you put GradX Staffs Uni, it'll come up with the page and all the details about it. But anybody is welcome to come along. There will be some people. What?
It's not blood.
Sorry.
It's wax.
It's what?
It's wax, not blood. Don't worry about it.
We're going to get demonetized, not joking.
Oh, right. So so GradX is basically there. Come along, come and have a look at the projects that they've got. It's kind of best to come in the morning if you come in, because although it goes on into the afternoon, quite often the students start to disappear about lunchtime after they've been officially judged, and then come back for the presentation and then get drunk after. But so basically, do come along, come and have a kind of the process and the kind of the bits and pieces that are there. Come and see some of the really cool projects. It's a shame Thomas is poorly, because Thomas's project is really cool as well. His project was around the lines of detecting where somebody was in a room. He'd got individual detectors. So again, the idea of trying to do something that you can buy an off-the-shelf system for, but cheaply, rather than trying to spend a lot of money on detection, what it is. The intention of it eventually was to use that detection because they know who it was that came in, because it's all based on where your phone is and kind of the position is. He got 3 sensors round and was using AI to get the right curve and the right thing to get the right place where people were. And the intention was then to carry on with that, to kind of do something that matters when you walk in the room. So change the lights, put the TV, put your favourite radio, whatever, kind of to make it much more personalised, but in a kind of relatively cheap way, rather than spending a stupid amount of money on doing these things. and kind of fitting in that sitting. Other projects we have, we've got cybersecurity students doing projects that aren't necessarily that technical, but have started to move more into thinking about how authentication works and how things work across and what's the best way of doing particular things. So we've got kind of some like cool things. We've got a submarine that literally he brought in a tank this big into his demo that literally he put his submarine in and it would detect a shape of an object that was underneath. So again, using proof of concept things to change things and kind of fit in those particular things. I'm trying to think of the others I've got now. We've got quite a lot of AI type projects coming on board because people like kind of playing with AI tech and it looks pretty good on the CV to do sort of things. So that it's in every area of computing. Kind of anything potentially from the software web end would be something that they can research about and to say build something at the end of it to kind of show skills and extend their knowledge. Because I think you two will probably say your knowledge was extended by doing the FYP in there, so that kind of idea. So that's my talk. God, I'll let you ask.
When does GradX start?
I'm going to say 10 o'clock in the morning on the 4th. What time have you got to be there from? You'll
Like
know.
8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. You're stupidly early, isn't it?
Opening ceremony's at 9:30, but if you don't care about that, it'll be 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
8 o'clock.
I'd say, yeah. The fact that 10 o'clock in the morning is probably when they'll all be back in it's all at Stoke. Wait, which building are you based in the Catalyst? Or are you in...
We're in Mella, but we have to go to Catalyst to register.
Right, so... that's good. I'm glad they're using Mella. Last year they just did the
In case
Catalyst.
I can go there, just so I'm clear. They're going to. Where would I go at what time? if
Mella
I
at
was
10
going-
o'clock.
Mella at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, yes. And then everything will be on there and going through there.
Assuming there'll be someone to let them in.
There will be. They sort that. They're Russell's recruiting staff as well. So, if you've got my number, I can let you in if nothing else. It goes horribly wrong. No. They just turn up and wander around and have a look. So there's no because they're only registering with the judges and things like that. So everybody just wanders around and picks people for jobs. If there's anybody left who hasn't got a job. Nice position. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
We are on time for once. This never happens. So we'll have a proper break this time. Beautiful mood lighting. Where's my pink light gone? We'll have a break. What do you reckon? Should we do a 20 minutes and then we can have like a really good open discussion? Yeah? Right, let's do a 20-minute break then and come back for about around 8ish. If you want to pop your questions down, there's some post-it notes and some pens over past the pizza. So you have to walk past the pizza that's all gone. And then I didn't buy enough. You were very, very hungry tonight. Very, very hungry. I ordered the same amount of pizza as last month, and there was loads to take home, and there's less people here, but we've eaten it all. So go figure. Thanks for eating it. So pop your questions down, pop your topics down, whatever it is we want to talk about. We'll come back and we'll get started with that. Should we tell what open discussion is for anyone who doesn't know? Or, yeah. So essentially what we do with the open discussion is we have questions from yourselves, obviously, and we come back. There's a tallying system. Really forgot about that. So when you write, so people write their questions down, topics down, things we want to talk about, and then you as an individual can go up and just mark on them a tally so that we can sort of get an idea of which ones are more important or more popular to the people in this room. We will then sort of collect them up and we will order them based on those tallies. If there's questions that are sort of very similar, then we might just break up a little bit. But all in all, they pretty much follow that path. We'll come back, we'll then talk about them individually, we'll have 3 minutes on each, and when that 3 minutes is up, we'll then have a show of hands. If you want to continue, we'll continue with it. If you don't, then we'll move on to the next topic. And we do that until we run out, or we run out of time. So, is that good? Yeah? Yeah? Well explained? Maybe not? Not as good as Trevor would do. Trevor used to be our master showman when it came to.
I've past tense. Oh no.
I was going to say how he abandoned me.
I thought you grabbed him back in.
No, he's doing it.
Oh, is he?
And press gang. See it. Past tense down there brought back.
We've already discussed. Yes, Trevor will probably join me tonight if he's willing to. And we'll do it together, like we all team back together.
Back on.
So go and enjoy yourself. Drinks wise, for anyone who's not sure, ours are in the grey fridge here, not in the fridge at the far end. So don't drink those ones, please, because we get told off. So make sure you're drinking the ones in this fridge, and only the ones in the sort of the two middle shelves. Not anything that's above it. Kind of leave that because that's other people's stuff. So, but coffee's available as well. If you need help with coffee, there's guys around who can make coffee. So just give us a shout. Right, that's good.
Thank you.
I do a lot of hand movements. There's a phone here. Is this yours, Nose? Yeah. Yours, Nose.
Well, guys, you've.
I've got that by 3.
Do you want to retrieve phone?